Fauci claims his words were taken out of context in Trump ad. It's a regular practice in campaigns to create ads to make your opponent look as unappetizing as possible while also using every tool in your arsenal to make yourself look like the best option. But sometimes campaigns get dirty with these ads, and that's exactly what it appears the Trump campaign did when it created an ad that makes it appear that Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and the nation's top infectious disease expert, was praising Trump. Fauci is also a member of the coronavirus task force that was created early on in the pandemic. Donald Trump put Vice President Mike Pence in charge of it, and from all appearances, it was set to take care of the pandemic and stop the coronavirus in its tracks before it got out of control. As everyone knows, that did not happen. Despite organizing this task force, Trump continually downplayed the virus, calling it a hoax, referring to it as the flu, saying it would disappear. While Fauci appeared next to Trump in his daily coronavirus update, after Fauci began correcting him, he was much less miserable. But Fauci is still around and pops up to offer his wisdom frequently, correcting facts as needed. That's what makes it all the more curious that the Trump campaign chose to put out an ad that twists Fauci's words. He was bound to stand up and correct the implication. The ad includes Trump's recent diagnosis with COVID-19 that sent him to the hospital for 3 nights. He still needs to downplay it, though, with more than 215,000 deaths in the U.S. He needs to make it look like more of a blip than the worst disease to hit the country since the flu pandemic more than 100 years ago. The ad shares, President Trump tackled the virus head-on as leaders should. It then shows Fauci saying, "I can't imagine that anybody could be doing more." But this isn't something that was said about Donald Trump. It also wasn't said recently. The comment was pulled from a Fox News interview in March with Mark Levin. Fauci was discussing the work of the task force. The Trump campaign didn't just pull the line out of context, they also spliced it together. In Fauci's full comment in the interview, he said, "I have been devoting almost full time on this, almost full time. I'm down at the White House virtually every day with the task force. I'm connected by phone throughout the day and into the night, and when I say night, I'm talking 12, 1, 2 in the morning. I'm not the only one. There's a whole group of us that are doing that. It's every single day. So I can't imagine that under any circumstances that anybody could be doing more," the doctor added. "I mean, obviously, we're fighting a formidable enemy, the virus. This virus is a serious issue here. The fact-checker's guide to manipulated video explains this is what is referred to as missing context, isolation. It's the process of creating a false narrative when a brief clip doesn't reflect what really happened." Fauci provided the following statement to CNN, "In my nearly 5 decades of public service, I have never publicly endorsed any political candidate. The comments attributed to me without my permission in the GOP campaign ad were taken out of context from a broad statement I made months ago about the efforts of federal public health officials." Tim Murtaugh, the Trump campaign spokesman, defended the ads, stating, "These are Dr. Fauci's own words." The video is from a nationally broadcast television interview in which Dr. Fauci was praising the work of the Trump administration. The words spoken are accurate and directly from Dr. Fauci's mouth.